Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. Say hi, Spoons.
Hey there.
And you can catch us at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time on YouTube every Monday. And we also drop a couple clips during the week. And we also have a Telegram channel. But I guess if you're listening to us, you know where we're at. So, but you can find us again at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays on YouTube at the channel Where the Mind Wanders. Um, So, as usual, we don't really know much about what we're going to talk about, but it always leads somewhere. It is, folks, where the mind wanders. Um, and both Spoons and I are feeling kind of tired. That we have a common, it seems. We both seem to be, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
do you have anything to say, Spoons, or uh,
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely agree with the being tired thing. I don't know. I don't know if I thought, a few days ago it was like, oh, well, it's the full moon, and sometimes I don't sleep well around that time anyway. But we're we're a little ways away from the full moon, and I'm still just having crazy dreams and stuff. So I'm just tired.
yeah, that's something else we have in common. Like I was dreaming up a storm last night or into this morning. I woke up this morning in particular, and I guess the sun was starting to rise. It was like light was coming through the window at that point. And the dream I was having was so vivid that like waking up into this reality felt like faker. It's the best way I
Hmm.
can explain it. The dream was way more real to me for a few, quite a few minutes, laying there looking around the room like this is where I am. Like, um,
Yeah.
you know, not bad dreams per se, but I'm having weird dreams and very vivid ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say up until last night, they've just been weird dreams. I wouldn't say last night I had bad dreams, but I had dreams with a lot of running. So much so that I woke up sideways in my bed where I
Mm.
just like rolled all over the place. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I don't know. It's no wonder I'm so exhausted if I'm doing all that in my sleep.
Mm.
I don't know. Hopefully, whatever it is passes soon because I'm I'm tired of feeling so um exhausted.
Yeah, and
Mm.
I've been feeling like that too for some weeks now. But in my case, I really think it's work, and I'm always somebody that pushes myself and pushes my body. And I think this is like the first year I think my age is starting to catch up with me. Kind of realizing I'm not 21 anymore. Um,
Right?
uh, yeah, because my work can be very physical. You know, I just haven't had any breaks, just 6 days, 6 days a week, just a little break on Sunday, and I haven't healed up yet, and it's just wear and tear catches up with you. That's at this point is the best I can figure out with myself anyway. But
Hmm.
um, I always push myself, and I always uh do the best I can with. But yeah, definitely I'm feeling it in my body this year for sure.
Hmm.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess now that you're saying that, I suppose for the last month for me, I've been putting myself in all these different environments, which can be challenging because it's forcing me to do a lot of new stuff. And I don't know, I always have a difficult time with that.
Mm.
I was telling you and a couple other people about one of the things I've been struggling since I've arrived at this last place. Um, I don't know what it is. I just get these weird hangups on things, and I didn't do my laundry for like the first week.
Mm.
I didn't do any laundry until today, and I was just like, it's just the fact of going over there and checking it all out and figuring out new machines and all of that. It's just overwhelming for whatever reason. But it's like it has to be done. So it's like one of those things that has to get to a critical mass before I go, okay, we'll do it today.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's fine. I don't know, new pattern stuff sometimes just really is difficult for me
Yeah,
personally.
same here actually. Um, the worst thing you can do to me, which is actually like an INTJ, INFJ meme. The worst thing you could do with me is update my computer, and then it changes something. Then I don't know what. Like I'm used to like a certain email setup. Like for a while, what I have Outlook, like Hotmail, and one day it just changed like
Uh-huh.
everything, the whole look to it, and how it operated and everything. And I've been used to it because I've had the same freaking email since I was 2009 or something like that, a long time,
Hmm.
2008 maybe, and it just changed, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I found there's like a little button you can click to go back to the old one, and I kept doing that.
Yes.
And every week it would ask me, do you want to do the new one? I'm like, nope. Nope. And then eventually just stopped giving me that option, and I had to get used to the stupid new one.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah.
Well, I can sympathize with that because I did the same thing with my Yahoo. Yes, I still have a Yahoo email, and I still have it on the classic old school version from like I don't know how many decades ago. I refuse to update it, so I can sympathize with that.
Yeah, it's everything. YouTube's updated it. God knows how many times. I haven't not been on Facebook since 2020. I
Yeah,
think I got a few Facebooks out there floating around that don't get used at this point, but I haven't used one. No, I tried to make one for the Contemplations of Spirit channel a few years ago. I only had like four friends on it, and then I gave up on it. I think I only had it because
yeah,
my sister used it to talk. She couldn't figure out Telegram, so I made up a Facebook channel, and I was just gonna use it for Contemplations of Spirit. And then my sister got Telegram, and I just banded it. I don't even know the password to get into it anymore. Uh,
right.
but but anyway, yeah, Facebook changed that. Um, it's probably ultimately, yeah, social media. I'm not really a social media kind of guy. I kind of like phased out of me back in 2020
Yeah.
completely.
Mhm.
Um, but to be honest, if they just left it the way it was and they didn't start changing stuff, I might I might have still kept using it. The worst
It's
thing they
kind
could
of
do is update things and change things because that's the quickest way for me to just stop using it. So,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting towards the time where I have to start thinking about getting a different phone, and I dread it so much. It's like I'm so not ready to do another phone upgrade. I mean, I think I've had this one maybe 3 years at this point. So it's time. But I don't want to. I like what I like, which I'll get the same exact type phone, um, and just keep using that. So at least it'll be mostly the same.
mm,
It's always something though.
mm,
All this stuff changes, and I don't know. When I was young, when I was like a teenager and stuff, that was like cool. Everything changes every year, and now I'm like,
uh,
everything changes every year.
no, I hated it back then. I remember being a little kid and hating this. Once I get used to something and I master it and it's part of my routine, please don't change it. That's the
I
kind of
think it.
how, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think it's just like curiosity thing. So like that back then that 1 year mark was just enough and be like, oh, okay, this is something new and I can spend a little time on it. And now I don't have that kind of time like you do when you're a teenager. So it's not fun. Mm, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's always my issue with technology. I'm always like reluctant to take on a new technology. Like, I resisted having a smartphone for the longest time. Like, um, I just stay out of the technology world for the most part because yeah, it's just I know it's going to be work to figure it out, and but
Yeah.
I sort of reluctantly started. But I'm always glad once, no, not initially, but about a month of mastering it, and then I'm like, all right, this is not so bad. Like, um, that's I was like so out of the loop
Yeah.
for technology for a long time. During the Corona thing, I think I already told everybody on the show, or I told you at least. It's like I never even knew you could make music on your computer with a DAW. I still thought you had to go to like a recording studio or something like that, and then it turns out you can do it all on your computer now. And I'm like, whoa, no way! And then I found out that you've been able to do that for like 10 or 20 years now, and I'm like, what?
2020 was a good time to find that out, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I had plenty of time to master all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it still comes in handy. I still work on the music, but I guess over the last week I haven't really had much time. But uh, but yeah,
Yeah. Mm, yeah. I guess, I mean, I suppose it's normal to be uncomfortable with change. I wish with certain things I didn't let it get to such a silly level of
mm,
whatever before I actually take care of it. It's that procrastination part of me, which I apparently love to torture myself with procrastinating things and
mm,
contemplating. Like I was talking with Michelle about the laundry thing. I moved to this place and they have a laundry room and but I was still like looking at all my other options and like calculating out the costs and all of the stuff. And she's like, well, you already know this is your cheapest option and it's where you're at. So why are you looking at 50,000 other things? Like to kill time, to
mm.
prolong the decision, to uh, not take action for whatever reason. It's funny. It's funny and it's maddening. Um, mm, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's just like that though. I don't know. I get into those moods as well.
Yeah.
Um, it's really like looking at the feeling of being upset about procrastinating because it's the procrastinating that's like connecting the circuit that I've found.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think people procrastinate for different reasons. And I find that a lot of mine is just, I don't know. It's just like a thought process that seems to be like, well, if I'm not deciding one way or the other, then it's not reality. But obviously, the reality of my laundry is staring at me.
Mm.
So it is reality. I don't know. It's just funny the way the brain works sometimes.
Yeah. I've caught myself procrastinating for different reasons. the first thing, like I said, you kind of have to look to see if you're just trying to keep that resisting whatever feeling is going on, which is
Hmm.
usually that's like pulling the thread from the sweater kind of deal. Um,
Hmm.
Other times, the way I'm kind of wired sometimes is I I work better under pressure. So I work for I wait to the
Yes.
last second. Like the
Hmm.
dishes, for example, um I'll wait until until I have to do them because Sandra has to use has to use the
Hmm.
kitchen or something like that, and then I get it done. Or
Yeah.
I'm like that with my workout. I try to at least work out every Sunday. And I
Hmm.
always wait until the very end of the day, even though I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it when I wake up. Nope. I'm just doing this and doing that. And the next thing I know, oh, you got an hour before dinner's done. And I got, oh, time to work out.
Yeah.
There's, um, and I was like that when I was in university too. I always
Hmm.
waited to the day before the project was done. And
Right.
I wouldn't even, I would just have a vague idea what the project was even about. I didn't even get started
Hmm.
research. And then I would do this 24-hour marathon, uh, doing all my research, writing my paper, editing a million times, and like just pots of coffee and just 24 hours straight. Um,
Hmm.
and the final paper, like to 9, 10 hours, writing it all out. Um, but I always got an A. Well, not every time,
Yeah.
but almost always an A. So it's but I don't know because I this project I knew about it for months and I literally wait to like the day prior to before it was due. So I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I feel like I just operate better like that sometimes in some situations.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I dig into some of that stuff sometimes, and sure, it's it's some interesting stuff that pops up. Like, I'll tell you one thing about the laundry thing that it doesn't make sense because I don't even know where this started, other than there appears to be some sort of issue using a shared laundry, but it's not about other people using the laundry. It's something about because I know like when I always look for apartments, I always needed to have my own washer and dryer for some reason. It was very important to me. And now I don't, and I don't know why that was exactly. I think like when I was younger, I used to like do laundry in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. So that's maybe one reason. But then I think it sort of became some sort of a status thing in my brain. And something about that was making me not go to the laundry room. I don't know. It's like one piece of it. There's like 1,000 other pieces that have come up, and I'm just like, what the hell is this?
yeah.
This is messy.
Yeah, I haven't done laundry since I was in the army. And in the army, I
Uh
always did
huh.
it at night as well. And
Yeah.
but you have to guard your laundry because in the barrack, like the floor of the barracks, there's only like I don't know, 4 washing machines and 4 dryers, and then got I don't know 100 people in there on that floor or whatever. So you have to guard your laundry because they'll if you start the machine and somebody wants to do their laundry and no one's around, they'll just take it out, throw it on the floor, and then put their stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
literally had to like I said I used to have to sit in the laundry room with a baseball bat like guarding my laundry. But I usually got it done at night because that's when people are starting to fall asleep. There usually be a machine free, so I just
Yeah.
throw it in the middle of the night and just sit in the laundry room guarding it. I get to it was done. Um, Usually just listening to music on my iPod or reading a book or something.
Yeah.
But I have not done laundry since. No, 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 that's not true. Sandra went on vacation once, and I had to do my laundry. That was horrid. Uh, but
No. Hmm. Yeah. Like, Going and doing laundry this morning, there's three washers and four dryers. I suppose for balance purposes. I don't know. I don't know why you have more dryers than washers, but um, yeah, there's like nobody in there, and I was probably 5 minutes from being done, and this one lady came in there for a little bit, and she was just like complaining about everything. She's complaining about her husband not helping with the laundry as she did one load. I was just like, I just used all three. I had all three of those washers going earlier, and I'm like, just wait until it piles up, and make it worth your while to do it. I don't know. It was just funny. But it wasn't a bad experience at all. I just put my earbuds in and was listening to some classical music and just sat and wrote for an hour and a half or however long it was I was down there. It was great.
Yeah, I don't know. These days, I kind of take the attitude as long as it gets done, it gets done. Like I don't beat
Yeah.
myself up over anything. Like when it needs to get done, it always gets done.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. And I used to stress myself out about it. I used to think I procrastinated on and on and on.
Hmm.
Then I just realized is okay. Did I get the dishes done? I did. Did
Yeah.
I do my workout? I did. Like did I show up for work and do all this? I did.
Yeah.
It's usually the things I would say are fun that I usually put off the most.
Hmm.
Um, like the music stuff. Like, if I have time, I do the music, but I don't stress myself out about it either. Like,
Yeah.
but the point being is like everything gets done, and it's like usually it's like your mind's just playing games on you. Like, to think otherwise. I mean, if you're not paying your bills and stuff like, okay, yeah, yeah, it's a different issue. But if everything in your life that needs to get done gets done, who cares? That's kind of like
Yeah.
my attitude at this point.
Yeah. That's it. I don't know. I think there's another piece about being in such a peaceful spot. It makes me notice how not peaceful my mind is actually. Where I felt like I'm pretty peaceful, but I'm like, I'm not peaceful. So that's been interesting. I suppose it's good. It's it's so quiet here. There's like, I mean, there's other campers, there's other people here, but nobody bothers anything. Nobody plays loud music. It's just quiet and relaxing. I don't know. Gives you space to do whatever creatively for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I used
yeah.
to live in a place like that. Um, it I just started walking and exploring
Hmm.
and found all kinds of um, cool places to meditate or whatever. It was back when I was living there as I was going to university on the GI Bill, so I just had to cram that one paper every couple of weeks or whatever it was. But
Right.
other than that, I had all this free time on my hands and lived in this like beautiful nature place. And yeah, every day I would just go walking and exploring. Um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. There's not a huge area to walk here, but I don't know. Maybe at some point I get like a paddle board or a kayak or something because we're on backwater and it's
mhm.
perfect spot to like try that kind of stuff out. So maybe I do some of that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Go kayaking.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to see because like the week I got here, it had rained for weeks and weeks, and so the water levels were way up, and everything's really muddy looking. So it's like water you couldn't see into, which I have a little bit of an issue with. Um, but maybe it clears up a bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm,
I'm not really as familiar with this river as others.
mm, mm. Explore.
There's plenty of that to do here, that's for sure. I'm making my list of stuff that I need. So I don't know. And it is what it is. It's a process, I suppose. Figuring out what all you actually need and what all you actually don't. I went through this huge purge process, but I'm finding, even though I've got plenty of room, I'm just like, I still want to get rid of a bunch more stuff. So I don't know, which kind of surprised me. I thought I'd maybe want to hold on to stuff a little bit more, but I don't. I don't find I do. Mm,
Mm,
anyway. Mm,
yeah. I actually had a conversation because I said, I'm tired, I'm achy, and I have a vacation coming up. And I was Sandra and I going down to the Alps, which is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to go. Um, it's like nowhere I've ever been in my life. It's the prettiest place I've ever been in my life. I mean, I've never been to the Rocky Mountains and stuff like that, but the Alps down there are beautiful, and the air is really, really fresh. You just feel refreshed being down there.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, so my colleague we're having this conversation the other day, and I'm like, I know it's time for vacation when I'm start thinking about getting another job. When you start looking at grass is always greener. And my colleague's like, yeah. He goes, I look into getting a forklift license like every couple months, where I'm like, I could just do this stupid forklift license, and then I could go drive a forklift. I wouldn't have to come back here anymore.
Yeah.
But this the thing is, it's my job is not bad, and the pay is good, and the hours are good, and it's a really good job to have. But it's like um, you need some downtime, some refresh time every now and then, which is probably
Mm-hmm.
why my job gives me 30 days a year for vacation, um,
Yeah.
because it does catch up with you. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I've been feeling lately. Like, I need to relax. I need to get into nature. I need to um, go down to the Alps and breathe the air.
Absolutely.
Talk about quiet down there too, man,
Mm-hmm.
or up there.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I get like that too. Like, just at least once a year, not a year goes by where I don't think about maybe I should just go join a monastery. Maybe I should just go somewhere where, of course you have to work while you're there a little, but then you get just sit around and meditate all day and um, do nature stuff and arts and crafts and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I probably would do it if I didn't have Sandra. I've been
Yeah.
saying it for years. I'm like, if I didn't have a relationship, I probably would just do that. 'Cause it's just, you know, it's
Yeah.
points me to where I want to go anyway. That's traditionally what you would have done is join a monastery or an ashram or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Anyway, so it's like not a year goes by that I don't think about that. But then again, I realized that I get a lot done in my life, like going to work and just living a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
It it definitely is part of I think it's more of a straight and narrow in some ways than if you went and joined a monastery or
Yeah.
um, because you have to deal with that feeling of that makes you procrastinate and so forth, which is like I said earlier, I found out so many times it's not, I don't even procrastinate. I just, in my mind says I procrastinate. Like,
Hmm.
but there's some sort of feeling that, is down there that I don't want to look at usually.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Unraveling whatever is in that mind. Oh, sometimes it's fascinating. Mm, I think I'm kind of looking at a new tangle of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even really want to dig into any of it, to be honest. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like time to pass it anyway. I
yeah,
gave up that attitude a long time ago when I had the sudden realization that time is passing anyway. So it's gonna
yeah.
happen anyway. So
Well, I mean, that's the thing of it. It's like all that is me giving it more resistance, and that's why I'm having dreams where I'm just having this fitful sleep stuff, and like, how much longer do I want to do that before I just say, okay, I'll actually look at the stuff that's coming up, you know, I don't know, prolonging the reality.
mm,
Mm, it's fine. I've almost got my resistance part over with. I think with this one, I'm just not really looking forward
mm.
to all this the stuff that comes with it. But it happens when it happens. So mm,
Yeah, that actually reminds me of I think before the show I was saying I don't really have nothing new and going on in my life, but I have been reading what the Dhammapada, blah, blah. I can never pronounce that one. It's one of the oldest, if not the oldest Buddhist text is from like ancient Afghanistan.
mhm,
It's like the oldest recording of the Buddhist teachings. But in this particular copy, um, there's like commentary, and all the commentary is between the chapters of the Dhammapada, Dhammapada, whatever it's called, is just the story of the Buddha, which I've heard many times in my life. Um, about the story, Siddhartha Gautama or something, the historic Buddha, the one that the whole thing has been based off of, because a Buddha is just means an awakened one. Somebody's been enlightened is a Buddha, but the historical Buddha. Um, um, and it tells, everybody's probably heard the story before about he was a prince and um, as said before he was born, his father, the king, was told that his son would either be a great ruler or a great spiritual teacher, and his father wanted to be a great ruler like himself, and he sheltered his son, or had his servants in his kingdom shelter his son. He was never allowed to leave um, I guess I don't know what you would call it, the castle grounds.
mhm,
So he never got to see like the village, the cities that his father ruled over, because he was locked behind the walls, and he had like a very privileged life, and he was very naive. He didn't know that people died. He didn't know about, that they got sick. Um, on and on and on, and to the first time he finally I guess in his 20s, convinced his father to please let me see the kingdom I'm supposed to rule over or whatever. Um, and so they took him out and they tried. His father demanded that before his son got sent out to go hide all the old people, hide all the sick people, on and on and on. But you know, he went out and he saw they couldn't clean up the streets completely. I guess is what it gets at. And he saw an old person for the first time, and it like confused and troubled him. He didn't know that people got old. He saw a sick person. He found out people get sick, and then he saw somebody who died, and he found out that eventually you're going to die. Um, and he was determined to conquer this uh, sickness, old age, death. So he gave up his princely life. I think it said in the book he was like 29 at the time, or coming into his 30s. He had a wife and a kid, and he renounced his princehood or whatever you call it, and went out into the forest to conquer uh, death, old age, sickness. Um, and he at first went through his what they call aesthetics. You know, in the yogis who like torture their bodies, that lay on nails and starve
Mm-hmm.
themselves and do all these superhuman things with their body. And he mastered all that, uh, learning from these guys. And then he found that, oh, okay, this is not leading me out of sickness, old age, and death. I'm just uh, doing things that, people that consider superhuman or whatever, but this is not leading me to where I need to go. Um, so he left that and started meditating and contemplating and looking at his own mind. And he eventually um, became enlightened and realized the Four Noble Truths. This is as far as I got in the story. And where, long story short, what's tying into what we've been talking about earlier is the Four Noble Truths. Is
Mm-hmm.
the first noble truth is dukkha, which means it's not really translatable 100%, but it could be mean suffering, not wanting something, wanting things to be different. It's all those are dukkha, including anything as pleasurable is dukkha, even though it's called sukha. But sukha leads to dukkha because anything that's going to bring you pleasure or happiness from a physical or human standpoint is eventually going to end and bring you back to dukkha. So you're
Mm-hmm.
just every pleasure has a pain, every pain has eventually a pleasure. Um, so the first noble truth is life is dukkha. Being human is dukkha. Wanting things to be different, which is the second noble truth, is trishna, which is thirst, desire, wanting things to be different. Um, if only I did this. If only I did my laundry when I said I wanted to do my laundry, or whatever. I did my paper 2 weeks earlier, whatever. Wanting things to be different leads to dukkha. Um, and then the third noble truth is nirvana, which means like to blow out. Think like if you blow out a candle, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's nirvana. Nirvana is to blow out Trishna, which would alleviate dukkha, and to be in a state where that Trishna is blown out, therefore dukkha is blown out. And then the fourth noble truth, which is the eightfold path, which is what he figured out would, if you followed, would eventually bring you to nirvana, which would alleviate Trishna, which would alleviate dukkha. Um, I was going somewhere profound with it, but I got sucked into the explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the point being is thinking things are supposed to be different um, is Trishna, which brings you to dukkha or suffering or being uncomfortable. Like I said, doesn't really translate directly into
Hmm.
English, but it's all those things. It's suffering, being uncomfortable, uh, um, I guess you what you call negative emotions, whatever. Um, yeah, and uh, by next week or next time, we're gonna have to skip a week. The just heads up, viewers, we're gonna be skipping a week because I'm going on vacation next week, and we're not gonna record. But the next time we come back, I'll probably have read
Yeah.
about the Eightfold Path more because I haven't really memorized that part because I haven't got there. Of course, I know what it is
Hmm.
in the most general sense, but not enough to explain it.
Right.
Um, but the first one basically is right understanding. And part of right understanding is, which I've discussed on the show before, is just if you're supposed to do something a certain way, you would have. And it's
Right.
just wanting things to be different that is bringing the dukkha. But
Hmm.
everything is playing out anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and it's basically how you see it is where your free will lies because everything
Hmm.
else is just playing out. But anyway, that's enough of my bedtime reading, sharing my book report. So
That's good stuff. It's always good to like go back and reread all of this stuff, I think. Refresh your memory. Mm. It's definitely, yeah. Um, hmm. I think I'm just gone into another blank space.
yeah, it's,
My brain.
me too.
I'm
Uh,
so sorry. It's just like I'm so tired today.
same, same.
Mm.
We can call it a night then. Call it. We got a show. Stick in to next time, dear viewers, if you want to hear about the Eightfold Path, because by then I should have read about it and continue my book
Yeah.
report. But yeah, I really
Hmm.
don't have nothing else here. That's all I got, folks.
I
Uh,
think this is good enough for sure.
yeah. All right, and we'll wrap it up. Um, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. You can catch us on YouTube at Where the Mind Wanders every Monday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch us on our Telegram channel and this TikTok channel, this imaginary TikTok channel that I'll be making that I've been announcing in the last 4 or 5 episodes or whatever. Eventually, we'll get up on that, but if you're listening to this now anyway, you probably already know where we're at on YouTube, and maybe you're actually watching this on the TikTok because I actually got around to doing it. So, um, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we also have been putting out clips every week. Share them around if you enjoyed the show, and thank you guys for tuning in, and the next time.